Jai Nrisimhade, 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 Jai Prahlada Maharaj. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Shtutara Shadashi Srimad Ridanti Goswami Abhaya Charanaravindam Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Shtutara Shadashi Srimad Ridanti Goswami Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Maharaja Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Om Premstakoshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Gopi Gopinath Radha Kunda Shyama Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavana Dama Madhura Dama Ki Jai. Mayapura Navadvipa Dama Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Munamaya Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimati Jai Pataka Swami Tinamni Namo Charipada Intekri Pradaya Gaura Kata Damadaya Nagara Gramatarina. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. We can chant together. Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatsutamesh Lake Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Agyanam Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svam Padantikam Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatate Dishatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8. The text is on the board, text 33. And chapter is entitled Prayers of Queen Kunti and Parikshit Saved. Apare vasudevasya devakyām yācito bhyagāt ajaḥ tvam asya kṣemāya ajaḥ tvam asya kṣemāya vadhāya ca sura-dviṣām apare vasudevasya devakyām yācito bhyagāt ajaḥ tvam asya kṣemāya vadhāya ca sura-dviṣām apare vasudevasya devakyām yācito bhyagāt ajaḥ tvam asya kṣemāya vadhāya ca sura-dviṣām. Next, please. Apare vasudevasya devakyām yācito bhyagāt ajaḥ tvam asya kṣemāya vadhāya ca sura-dviṣām. Apare vasudevasya devakyām yācito bhyagāt ajaḥ tvam asya kṣemāya vadhāya ca sura-dviṣām. Apare vasudevasya devakyām yācito bhyagāt ajaḥ tvam asya kṣemāya vadhāya ca sura-dviṣām. Apare vasudevasya devakyām yācito bhyagāt ajaḥ tvam asya kṣemāya vadhāya ca sura-dviṣām. Apare others. Vasudevasya of Vasudeva, devakyām of Devaki, yācitaḥ being prayed for, abhyagāt took birth, ajaḥ unborn, tvam you are, asya of him, kṣemāya for the good, vadhāya for the purpose of killing, ca and sura-dviṣām of those who are envious of the demigods. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Others say that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods, and for the welfare of all people, actually, according to the purports of acharyas. Purport. It's also said that Vasudeva and Devaki, in their previous births as Sutapā and Pṛśni, underwent a severe type of penance to get the Lord as their son, and as a result of such austerities, the Lord appeared as their son. It's already declared in the Bhagavad-gītā that the Lord prays first for the welfare of all people. Here it's exactly given here, for the welfare of all people, the first reason, and to vanquish the asuras, or the materialistic atheists. That's the second reason, and of course third reason is given here, to answer the prayers of Devaki and Vasudeva. So Queen Kunti continues glorifying the Lord, and here in this specific section of verses 32 to 34, she describes various opinions about the birth of unborn, the reasons for Krishna to come as they given by different authorities of the Vedic past, of Vedic literatures. Although he is unborn, still he takes birth, and Queen Kunti is bewildered with this. At least 3 times she repeated that this is bewildering for her, and she mentioned different contradictory features in the personality of Godhead and in his pastimes that bewilder her. 3 times she mentioned that although he is unborn, but still he takes birth, and 3 times mentioned that she is bewildered with it. What is this redundance? Because when Lord Chaitanya conversed with Keshava Kashmiri, that great Pandit, Digvijay, he told him that in your poetry dedicated to Ganga, there is one fault. Of course, there are many of them, but there is one fault prominent, and he told him, you have redundancy, you have repetition, and it's not needed in the poetry. But in the case of Queen Kunti, that's a poetic embellishment, that 3 times she repeats her emotions, she is bewildered, and 3 times she repeats that Krishna is unborn. Although he is unborn, he takes birth. And she's so much relishing with these facts, we can see it. So how it became poetic embellishment. Here poetry, it's like a masterpiece of poetic artistry. It's so beautiful, and at the same time it's the essence of our Vedanta. It's nice, so nice blend of this. Our Vedanta is given so nicely in these prayers, and it's expressed in such a nice poetry. So it's like an example of this artistry in poetic expression of the philosophy, and that's Queen Kunti. Actually, we can see this is an embellishment, this repetition and this constant stressing of one point. He is unborn, but still he takes birth. Why? Because it's an expression of her beautiful emotions. Actually, it's an expression of her ecstasy in devotional service, nothing else. Therefore, it becomes so relishable for us as well. She feels in her relationship with Krishna, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that we can enjoy, we can relish the pastimes of Krishna when we contemplate and understand the contradictory things in his personality, the contradictory features in his appearance, his janma and karma. That's relishable according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So why? Because it's absorbing for the mind to be concentrated on something that it can think about. The greater, wider kshetra for the mind to think. I can think now because there are 3 functions of the mind, we know: thinking, and then feeling, and then willing. Now they come in and they turn in sequence like this. First thinking, the mind wants to think. On what? It should not be like vague, it should not be broader, it should not be wide, it should be concentrated on something which can make it think about. And these contradictions, that exactly what mind likes to understand, that exactly what mind likes to concentrate upon, that would make it relish the process of thinking. And then feeling comes, because it comes in turn, that it comes in this sequence. First concentration, and then feeling comes. What we concentrate upon, the attachment to this thing comes into picture. It's very important for us to understand how it works. And Queen Kunti gives this example how much she is absorbed in thinking about Lord. Again and again, she repeats the same thing, and again she expresses her feeling about it. So that's so much exciting for her, just to understand, just to contemplate, and then realize the personality of God, and then see Him face to face. It's also the sequence of how Krishna appeared. And in this, and what actually she is absorbed in, which contradictory things she sees in Him, like we already mentioned, and she mentioned it before. Although unborn, He takes birth, and then next, she doesn't need to work, but still, He comes to have some work, to work. For what? Which kind of work? To kill the demons and to reestablish the principles of religion. That's what we consider His work here. And then He is impartial by nature, but still He is partial, according to some opinions. He is partial towards His devotees. It's kind of apparent contradictions there in the personality, and why it's here. And this repetition actually shows how much she enjoys it, how much she really enjoys it, and how much it's deeply meaningful for her and relishable for her. Actually, this is a lesson for us, how we have to be absorbed in personality of God. For me, probably I won't even notice all these wonderful things in Krishna, all this apparent contradiction, if King Kunti, with her vision, with her understanding, with her feeling, won't give it to me, won't show it to me, won't express it as wonderful to hear. And then we can appreciate them. When it's expressed by the devotees, which have some feelings toward what they speak, not just speaking, but feelingly, on the level of realization, that it enables me to appreciate it. That, thus it becomes my. If I appreciate, if I am able to appreciate what is spoken by great devotees on their level of realization, it becomes mine. What we concentrate upon, it becomes ours. So that's a lesson from her absorption. And in this regard, there is a wise and very profound analogy is given, like our concentration on qualities and pastimes of Krishna. That's like a candle. The candle has a flame, and this candle, the flame of this candle, ignites what? The wick of our attachment to Him. So the flame of the candle of our absorption in Krishna, of our concentration upon Krishna, ignites the wick of our attachment to it. It's so nicely given, like how it works actually. We concentrate, and what we concentrate upon, it's strengthening or further ignites the attachment, and then the more we concentrate, the bigger this flame of the candle, the more we manifest this flame in our attachment. The more this wick get burned, like the more flame comes in our attachment as well. So it's important to understand, the more we remember the Lord, the more we absorb in the Lord, the more we attach to it. And then Queen Kunti expresses it further. Tvaimenanya vishaya mater madhupati sakrit ratimudvagatam adhat agangeo vangamudanvatim. O my Lord, O Madhupati, as the Ganges flow without any hindrances towards the ocean, let me remember you. Let me flow to your personality, to your qualities, to your pastimes, without any deviation to someone or something else. I want this kind of absorption. Actually, she is on the level of this absorption, but she is asking, like, for our sake, the benediction for Krishna, this absorption in Krishna to get. Which hindrances can be on the flow of Ganga? Nothing. Ganga just smash everything. Whatever you put in front of here, it will be smashed. No deviation. on the flow. With the same concentration, without any deviation, we have to be concentrated on the personality of Godhead, and this example is given by Queen Kunti here. And what is this bewilderment actually? From thinking, we already told that there are three functions of the mind: first thinking and then feeling. What is this bewilderment? That expression of her feelings, right? She is amused. The amusement is there. Amusement with the qualities, these contradictory qualities of Krishna. Actually, this is expression of Adbhuta rasa. Like a part of her Vatsalya rasa tinged with Aishwarya. She understands. She has this motherly affection towards Krishna, but still it's tinged with Aishwarya, understanding the great opulences of Krishna, and that his position is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the position of the Supreme Person. But still, a part of it, she has this Adbhuta rasa. There's a secondary rasa, we know that the 5 main rasas, and then 7 secondary rasas, altogether 12 rasas. And they just combine together. That's her feature, the feature of her devotion. And she contemplates being in this Adbhuta rasa. Adbhut means what? Wonder, amusement, bewilderment. It's also the science of this Adbhuta rasa. And what I'm bewildered with, what I'm amused with a contradiction. When I think about different contradictions, so-called contradiction, of course, nothing contradictory in the personality of Godhead, but they appear like this. As this rasa, Adbhuta rasa, nourished by this contradiction, contemplation on this contradiction. Therefore, like from verse to verse, we see how she expresses these different contradictory features of Krishna's personality. Why? Because it's expression of her Adbhuta rasa. Otherwise, it won't be expressed like this. It won't be so many of mentioning different contradictory qualities in Krishna. Just what really make her ecstatic. So that's her anubhavas. That's how she expresses her internal ecstasy of being so much absorbed in Krishna. And how he's unborn and still taking birth. And Krishna must be unborn, as our Acharya said. Why? Because he doesn't have source. He's the source of everything else, right? So there is no source to Krishna. Yes? Therefore, he's unborn because nothing there to source Krishna. Nothing there to give birth to Krishna. Therefore, he is unborn. Otherwise, if he is not unborn, he is born like a normal living entity, then we have to consider the existence of something else or someone else who give birth to Krishna. But it's not the position of Krishna. Therefore, he is unborn as a source of everything else. He is unborn. A nice analogy given by Srila Prabhupada in this regard, like in the previous verse. The Lord is ever unborn, like a sun which arises on the eastern horizon. But we cannot say the eastern horizon is the father of the sun. Although the sun appears to be born by eastern horizon, right? He appears from the horizon, but still this horizon, eastern horizon, cannot be mentioned as the sun. It's not a truth, because the sun itself, that the father or give birth to everything, whatever exists because of the sun. In the same way, Krishna is not a son of anyone else. He unborn, and he ever unborn like a son, but still he takes birth as the sun takes birth of eastern horizon. And here Kunti mentioned in this section of verses, she mentioned different reasons for Krishna to be born. Like in the previous verse, it was glorification. Why Krishna comes to this world? To glorify the pious kings, right? Like Maharaja Yudhishthira. For what? What it gives to the world. If Krishna, the Supreme Person, glorifies Maharaja Yudhishthira, everyone will follow Maharaja Yudhishthira, and He is the embodiment of the religious principles, right? Thus, just by glorifying him, by establishing him as the emperor of the world, Krishna re-established the principles of religion. It's so simple because whole world will follow Maharaja Yudhishthira if Krishna speaks about him, if Krishna glorifies his quality and the way of his ruling. That how he re-establishes, it's how he fulfills his mission, re-establishing the religious principles. And then it's also mentioned to please dear devotees, like King Yadu. He came into his dynasty to please him. He came to Vasudeva and Devakī in this verse to please him, to reciprocate, lovingly reciprocate with their prayers. It's also very important to understand. So Krishna comes with the two more reasons to lovingly reciprocate with his devotee, whoever it may be. First, it's king, a little distance in the relationship. Also, it's at the source of this dynasty, King Yadu. Still, there are relationship between Krishna and his source, the source of this dynasty. But still more intimate, that's the relationship between Krishna and Devakī and Vasudeva. So he comes to reciprocate with their wonderful prayers, and then to kill asuras. That's according to sura-dviṣām, those who are envious towards the asuras, as the demigods. He comes for this purpose. So in this verse we have three reasons: to reciprocate with Devaki's prayers, to kill the demons, and asya kṣemāya, for the welfare of all the world. The three reasons are here. And then Vishwanachika, in the next verse, another opinions is expressed by Queen Kunti, that he came in response to Brahma's prayers to remove the burden of the earth. It's one more opinion why Krishna came. But the real reason is given still further. We are just overviewing now this section of the verses, giving the overview of it for us to understand, because it's very important section of verses here in Bhagavatam. But in the verse 35, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives another reason. And he names this reason the real reason. All others, they were not real. Now hear about the real reason for Krishna's appearance: to rejuvenate bhakti, the processes of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and that is to give prema. To rejuvenate bhakti means on the level of prema, to lead to prema by this processes. Shinvanti, Gayanti, Grinana, Bhikshnaha, Smaranti, Nandanti, Tavehi, Kamjanah, Tat eva pashyanti chirena tava kasbhava pravaho paramam padam bhujam. Those who are absorbed in your activities by hearing, Shinvanti, then Gayanti, chanting, and then Smaranti, remembering, those can see your lotus feet. This is the main reason for Krishna to come, to give the access to his lotus feet, to give the access to his personality by the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and to lead the people to the highest level, which can be achieved by this, the level of prema, and even higher. And then on the level of prema, he appears in the heart of the devotee. That's the main reason for him to come. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, as we mentioned, he told that this is the main reason for him to come. So what about all other reasons mentioned? A part of it, there are 5 more reasons, and we mentioned them already. So are they not real? All these reasons, they are real. Because they support this main thing. To give prema, you have to glorify by asking. To give prema or to lead to prema, you have to answer to the request of Brahma and to appear in this world. To give prema or to support prema or to develop prema, strengthen and deepen prema in the heart of Vasudeva and Devakī, you have to what? To answer their prayers, that the loving exchange should be there, so that to strengthen the taste for it, to strengthen ecstasy, the strength, because of ecstasy, the strength love. So everything is there. So all other reasons, they either support prema, either lead to prema, or strengthening prema. But the main thing is prema. And now I want us to see how all these things which are here mentioned, 3 reasons. First, to answer the Devaki's prayers and Vasudeva's prayers, and then to kill the demons, and for the welfare of whole world, how it leads to prema. We can see now how they actually connected. The first reason to answer the prayers of Devaki and Vasudeva. In this regard, we have to understand how Krishna comes. Janma Aishvarya Shuta Shibira Adamana Madahuman. Not that one. We have to understand Dharma and Karma of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be able to get rid of the material existence in this world, right? Janma and Karma of Krishna are divine, but how it's divine, what is the history of the appearance, how they were praying, what is the story behind of this. We know that Vasudeva and Devaki, in anticipation of becoming the parents of Krishna, Vasudeva Krishna, they appeared twice before. They came, first appearance, them was the appearance of Sutapā and Pṛśni. And Sutapā was a progenitor. He was a Prajapati in the reign of Swayambhuva Manu. And by the blessing of Brahmaji, because Brahmaji asked them to procreate the offspring, and they started severe, very sincere devotional austerities for 12,000 years. They were doing this austerity, performing austerity, and Lord Vishnu was so pleased with them that he came in their purified heart to give any kind of blessings, and they asked him, please become our son. And then he became their son. He came as Prishni-garbha. Prishni-garbha means born of the womb, from the womb of Pṛśni. That was the first appearance of Vasudeva and Devaki in this world, and the second was Kashyapa and Aditi. The second time Vishnu became their son as Vamanadev or Upendra. Upendra, Upa Indra, the subordinate to Indra, or Indra Anuga, the younger brother, Upa Indra, small Indra, or the follower of Indra. So he became the younger brother of Indra. It was the second appearance, and the third appearance was Devaki and Vasudeva, who gave birth to Vasudeva Krishna in the prison of Kamsa. But here we have to understand some very wonderful things. Actually, what this devotional practice can do to Vasudeva and Devaki, they already parents. They already eternal parents of Krishna. Will this practice, devotional practice of penance and austerities, give any purification to them? Do they need any purification in the heart? They don't. But then what are these austerities they perform, they underwent? And it's nicely explained by acharyas that actually not just them want eternally be the parents of Krishna, but so many other sincere aspirants who have this desire to have Vatsalya Bhava with Krishna. And somehow these two demigods, like Sutapā and Pṛśni, they were demigods, but then they developed this Vatsalya Bhava towards Krishna, and they wanted Krishna or Vishnu to become their son. So what was done by the Lord? He joined the partial manifestation of Devaki and Vasudeva. He joined this appearance of Sutapā and Pṛśni. It became combined form. Otherwise, they cannot have any parental relationship with the Lord unless the real parents enter. So it was like combined single whole of this partial manifestation of the parents of Krishna, real parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, and this wonderful devatas who wanted to have Krishna as their son. So they combined together, and through these austerities, the demigods, not Vasudeva and Devakī, it was a bhajan actually, devotional bhajas. They were anugas, they were following to make them, to get the proper frame of mind, to get the proper attitude, to give the proper character and intention toward Krishna, and to express it properly. So they were guided in this process by Vasudeva and Devakī. Therefore, all these austerities were needed for them to get purified. And the same was with Kashyapa and Aditi. They were demigods who wanted Krishna as their son. Therefore, again, the same thing. Vasudeva and Devakī enter the forms of these demigods to enable them to do it, to enable them to express this Vatsalya. The same happened with other devotees of Krishna who wanted this Vatsalya Bhav. And they were what's the name? Drona and Dara. They were another demigods who wanted Krishna as their son, so they also performed severe austerities to get this Vatsalya, and Brahmaji gave them boon of Vatsalya Bhav. How Brahmaji, who don't have any Vatsalya in his relationship with Krishna, how Brahmaji could give this Vatsalya to Drona and Dara? That means that Brahmaji knew that very soon Krishna will come, and also Yashoda and Nandana. So he kind of fitted them in the forms of Yashoda and Nanda, and they become single whole. They entered again. It was combined form of Drona and Dara and Yashoda and Nanda, and then again they gave whole anugatya. They gave the teaching of how to follow Vatsalya Bhava, how to express it, how to be in the frame of Vatsalya properly. So they got this train from Nanda and Yashoda. And again, because Nanda and Krishna is a Purna Bhagavan, right? He likes a full moon, but Vasudeva Krishna, that's half of moon, Ardra, as Acharya is saying. In the same way, the parents of Krishna, or Nanda and Yashoda, that's full-fledged parents. They're real parents of Krishna. But when Krishna comes as Vasudeva Krishna, they become half manifested in their personalities. So we can say that Vasudeva and Devakī, that's expansion, their expansion of Nanda and Yashoda, and that's a fact. And together with Nanda and Yashoda, Drona and Dara also came. So Kashyapa and Aditi came, and then first appearance Sutapā and Pṛśni, all of them, they combined in Vasudeva and Devakī. And they suffered so much. Vasudeva and Devakī, which suffering they didn't undergo any kind of suffering. Whatever we can imagine, they were there. So where is the love in exchange? Because Krishna came to answer the prayers. Where is the love in this answer? To enable them to go through all this suffering. Where is the love? Right? We can ask this question. But again, the same thing. All this, whatever the devotee or devotees experience, they given by the loving hand of Krishna. For what? To develop prema. For what? To strengthen this prema. How? Because Devakī and Vasudeva, they suffered so much because of killing these 6 their son born of Devakī in the prison of Kasa. And the symbolic representation of what? The 6 anarthas in the heart, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya, who supposed to be purified from all these anarthas. Devakī and Vasudeva? No. The same personalities who entered them to purify their heart, so that enables them to become the place of the appearance of Krishna, this place should be pure, so pure. Therefore, first, in all these personalities, all these different anarthas, all these different unwanted things disappeared by killing, by Kamsa. And Kamsa, in this allegory, he is a fear personified. So fear personified kills all the anarthas in the heart. It's interesting because all these anarthas coming from lust. All other anarthas, they're somehow manifestation of this lust, different forms. But this is pure lust manifested in different forms. But fear of death, it's more strong than even lust. So the fear of death, it's strongest feeling, the strongest enemy in the heart. But this enemy, Kamsa, kills other enemies together with the lust. And it's explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is our story, how we fear. The first motive in our sadhana, why I'm worshipping Krishna, why I took to Krishna consciousness, because of fear. That's the first motive, in the mode of ignorance. There are different modes we are passing through, and there are different motives of why we are doing sadhana on these different levels. So first motive is the fear. Fear of what? Why we worship Krishna in the beginning of our Krishna consciousness? Because we are afraid of that word. We came from it. We know how much it troubles us, how much pain we feel being in this world. So we don't want to suffer by returning then. We don't want to return. So that's the main fear why I'm worshiping Krishna. I don't want to return there. Right? Therefore, I'm here worshiping Krishna. I don't want to return there. That becomes our main motive. But then we have other motives. We are not going to this. So one by one, we eliminate even these motives because we elevate our modes of nature. So motives naturally also changing. So then the passion comes after all these enemies subdued in the heart. At the beginning, still lust comes. It was subdued by fear. I didn't want to return. Therefore, my life, whoops, got down. So he was not there. He was covered with this fear. But then, when the fear is not there, when the mode of ignorance is not there, the second mode becomes in that mode of passion. And the prominent feature of passion is lust, kama. I want something, right? I am doing now my service because of some selfish motive. That's the second, but it's not crucial because we are getting rid of all these things when we are passing in our devotion, traversing the path of devotion. And finally, when I'm satisfied, Krishna gave me whatever I wanted. He fulfilled all my desires in Krishna consciousness in such a way that I never want them to be repeated. I never want them to be with me again. Then we are coming to the mode of goodness. And the main motive of mode of goodness is duty. Now I'm doing this because my spiritual master told me. Now I'm doing this because I feel obliged to do. That's a feeling of duty. And this feeling of duty, after I saw how Krishna fulfilled all my desires, I'm so grateful to him. And this is second reason for me to execute now devotional service, because I'm grateful. And this is main motive of the mode of goodness. I am doing this in my sadhana. If I am on this level, I want to somehow express my gratitude through my service to Krishna. And then finally, Shuddha Sattva or Vishuddha Sattva, no motives, only motive, no material motives anyway. Even this gratitude just go away. Even this sense of duty goes away. But what is left? I want to please my Lord. I want to give him happiness. That's the main motive of bhakti in Shuddha Sattva, already revealed bhakti, already on the level of highest manifestation of bhakti, bhava and prema. I want to just please the Lord that how we traverse our path of bhakti. And now, what else was there? Yeah, the second reason, killing the demons. Actually, also Acharya says in the Purport to this section of verses that killing of demons can be done by nature. And no need for Krishna to kill the demons because it's already done by nature. The nature takes care of the appearance of this world, of maintaining this world, and then annihilating of this world is also done by nature, and it's explained by Srila Prabhupada in his lectures, how everything is done by nature. So no need for Krishna to kill the demons, but why he's killing? And also it's explained by Acharyas as that there are 21 different Naimittika Lila, and we know this. There are Nitya Lila and Naimittika Lila. And Nitya Lila, that's the reality of Goloka. But Naimittika Lila, that's reality of this material world. And this is a Lila of killing. Killing of what? Killing of these demons which represent the anarthas in the heart. So it's already manifested. The demons that's manifested, physically manifested, gross manifestation of these anarthas which are in subtle form exist in our heart. So actual demons there in the heart. So Krishna comes to kill demons to show how we have to deal with our anarthas. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned there's 21 anarthas according to Naimittika Leelas, and 19 of them they killed by the Lord himself, and 2 of them they killed by Balaram. And he also mentioned that killing of the demons in Vrindavan, this is the elimination of anarthas on the path of Vraja Bhakti, on the path of the devotion in the mood of the Vrajavasis. That's for Bhakti. This anarthas is for enabling us to traverse the path of Bhakti. And when Krishna kills the demon in Mathura, that's for those who want to traverse the path of Jnana. And when Krishna, so this anarthas on the path of Jnana, it's like a different personality whom Krishna kills them there in Mathura. And then in Dvaraka, when Krishna kills in Dvaraka those demons, the anarthas on the way of karma. If someone traverses this also. And in this regard, it becomes part, this killing of demons actually becomes part of loving reciprocation. Because when the devotees see Krishna killing, when the devotees see Krishna's in dangerous situation, it's like they feel so much of ecstasy, but it's some specific ecstasy, the part of our rasa, and it's called vyabhichari bhavas, like they see Krishna in the coils of Kaliya. Immediately, because Krishna is vibhava, he is a cause of love, he is a cause of this ecstasy. Immediately this love comes out of the heart, but how it will express in these different feelings, vyabhicharis, they're afraid for Krishna. And this anxiety, that's the different fear and anxiety and lamentation, the different vyabhicharis bhava which support the feeling of ecstasy which brings our prema on the top level. This is needed. The killing of demon is needed actually for taking our prema or prema of advanced devotee to the top level of expression it. And then it's so nice when they meet these vyabhicharis, when they separated by killing, they in separation. So vyabhicharis are divided into 2 big groups. the feelings in the meeting with Krishna and feeling in separation. So killing all these demons by Krishna, that separation with him somehow. They lament, they feel fear, they feel anxiety, up to highest and even the death. The 10 levels of separation are there, and all of them they exhibited by Brijbasis when they see Krishna killing the demons. But this killing is like playing with the toys. It's also interesting. Like Krishna is thinking in his heart, my uncle Kamsa is so wonderful as an uncle. He's sending newer and newer toys to me. Like Kamsa was sending all these demons at least twice a day, morning and evening, morning and afternoon. All these demons were coming, and Krishna were playing with them, like with the toys sent by very kind uncle Kamsa. And he was thinking, okay, Kamsa, my uncle, sending all these toys to me, so I have to play with them, right? What we are doing with the toys, we are playing, the child plays with the toys, and then after it's not anymore relishable to play with the toys. If it's boring, then child breaks the toys, right? It's very simple to understand that the Krishna is in this mood. It's not, and it's no extra endeavor for him at all. It's like a playing with the toys for the same purpose, to strengthen the love of his devotees. So even this becomes operational in his mission of giving love, giving prema towards the devotees. Okay, we couldn't cover many things. I wanted to, of course, speak more. But if you have any question, we have to stop here. Yes, Prabhu. Can you please speak louder and more audible for me?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It is on the bottom as well, some...
Hare Krishna Mataji, nice explanation. Mataji, a small, from Bhagavad-gītā, we came to know paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. But whereas in the Krishna book, what we understand from the Krishna book, that devatas are different version.
Sorry, I couldn't get this part. Okay, paritranaya sadhanam I got, but what was the question? It was not audible.
Okay. Shall I repeat, Mataji?
Like the question itself.
No, from Bhagavad-gītā, it is paritranaya sadhunam.
I heard this.
And from the Krishna book, it was mentioned that the protection of the devotees and the non-devotees is not the actual Krishna's path.
No, the protections, loving exchange leads to prema, either support prema or strengthen prema. But the final real reason, as it's said by Vishwanath Chakravarti, to give prema through the rejuvenation of bhakti processes like Shinvanti, Gayanti and Smaranti. That's why Krishna comes. And then even more to add this, it's in the verse 36 in this chapter. Next verse that actually of what it gives, this prema, this absorption in Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam, it gives the remembrance of the lotus feet. It enables the devotee to see the lotus feet, and this is the purpose. When we see Krishna face to face, starting from lotus feet, then we can exchange with him. This is the purpose, this is prayojana. So all other, he comes for loving exchange. He comes to save the devotee through the pain of separation with him, means to have this loving exchange. How else he can save the devotees, right? To give himself in this loving reciprocation. This is the main reason. But the killing of demons, it's supported. It's a part of it. Because when the demons killed, the devotees also experience this prema even more, because there is a danger for Krishna. The more love comes from the heart, the more is expressed, right? But the real reason that's prema, strengthening for prema, we are going a little deeper than these things, because in a nutshell, it's given in Bhagavad-gītā. That's perfect. That's 3 missions of Krishna are there, but for which purpose? Paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya dushkacham dharma samstha. To establish or strengthen the relationship with Krishna when we face Krishna. And we can face Krishna on the level of prema. And to this prema lead us the rejuvenated bhakti through the processes of hearing and remembering and chanting. That's how Queen Kunti put here. With a perfection. Cannot understand your accent, like specific. I cannot. Not. You just speak louder and not so quick.
No, it was mentioned, in fact, the Lord came to this world just for His own transcendental pleasure.
For His?
Transcendental pleasure.
Transcendental pleasure, okay.
Yes.
It's also true. Because the purpose of love, the purpose of the existence of Krishna to have this love in exchange. Nothing but this is the purpose of His life. So He comes to get pleasure from this love in exchange. Nothing else actually, the substance of this pleasure of Krishna. What gives Him pleasure? The love in exchange with His devotees. The same thing. But how we can have this loving dealings with Krishna? Only when we see His lotus feet. Meaning from lotus feet, Krishna and whatever He wants us to reveal about Him. When we see it, we can have this loving exchange, like already developed, already mature, already very deep. So Krishna takes pleasure in this, great pleasure. And also, it's explained in the same verse. If we are absorbed in all the things, Shinvanti, Gayanti, Smaranti, or we take pleasure in others doing so, we also see the lotus feet of Krishna. It's another lesson for us. What is the lesson from this? We have to appreciate the service of others. We have to appreciate the way how they serve Krishna. If it's not there, then we are far from Krishna, far from lotus feet. It's very nice lesson we can get. There are 2 parts in this verse, 35, I believe. Shinvanti, Gayanti, Grinanti, Abhichnashah. And we can appreciate. When we appreciate and take pleasure as Krishna takes pleasure, for Him it's pleasurable. What to say about us? For Him it's pleasure to have dealings with those who are, or even behold those who are in Shinvanti, Gayanti and Smaranti. So the same, it should be for us. It should be pleasurable. Then we can also be granted by this boon of seeing, of facing Krishna directly. And then we can have this nice exchange with them. So we have to appreciate the devotees. It's a very nice lesson from this verse, from this section as well. So first, we have to be absorbed as Queen Kunti was absorbed in the personality of Godhead up to the highest level, and then we have to appreciate others doing the same. Then the lotus feet of Krishna, as Queen Kunti says here, guaranteed for us. Krishna just giving this, the access to His lotus feet. It's wonderful. Hare Krishna. Anything else? So thank you so much, and Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Queen Kunti ki jai, Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.